is that the DNA changes that the genetic farmers put into us are at this point still predominantly dormant. They are, if you will, locked up in the 95+% of our DNA that appears to not normally be used, which our scientists call junk DNA.
We only use about 5 to 10% of our DNA for building our body. They call these coding DNA sequences, meaning that they code proteins to make our physical body with. 90 to 95% of our DNA is non-coding DNA. In other words, mainstream science has no idea what this DNA really does. They call it, quote, junk DNA. Why would any sort of intelligent designer put junk in our body? Put something in our body that's useless? That wouldn't happen. In fact, what I believe is that this 90 to 95% of junk DNA is actually used metaphysically. It's used for our consciousness in ways that we just don't really understand yet.
My name is John D'Souza. I was an FBI special agent for 25 years. One of the things that I notice at the FBI and in any law enforcement group really is that they are demonstrative of the larger rule that there's always a percentage in any segment that demonstrate these extraordinary powers, these extraordinary abilities, 5, 6, 7%. Luckily for us, they save extraordinary numbers of people's lives using those abilities. I think what sets these people, this segment of the population, what sets them apart from everyone else is that they have some kind of marker that designates them as having parts of their DNA activated that the majority of the population doesn't have. And that's something that's evident no matter where you go in every group. There's always that segment, that remainder of people that they just activate. One of the first great experiences of the paranormal that was shared by me and hundreds of other law enforcement officers was what we called the Indigo Kids of 9/11. This was groups of little kids as young as 5, 6, 7 years old, all over the United States, that in the weeks and just days before the 9/11 terrorist attacks, they had cognitive experiences of what was going to happen. And they displayed those experiences the way the little kids would. At school, sometimes they did it with drawings, with finger paints, with arts and crafts, representing burning buildings where people were jumping out of the buildings. And no one really paid that much attention to it until